So much for tuning into this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Be sure to subscribe to The Kim Jacobs Show right on YouTube. Turn on your notification bell to all so you never miss a beat. And guess what? Every time you watch, you're going to receive a real, relevant, and relatable guest that's going to share with you a piece of the puzzle on this journey called life that will help you be able to manage just a little bit smoother. At the end of the day, the Kim Jacobs Show goal is to be able to provide balance to the world, one household at a time.
Kim Jacobs Show. You're watching Kim Jacobs Show.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Kim Jacobs Show. How are you, Julie Brain Lady Anderson?
I am fabulous this morning. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you for being here today. I am super excited about having you. And we're going to be talking today about the brain. Do you know how important it is for us to know how our brain works? It is so important. Or is it our brains? I don't know. But that's already got my brain discombobulated. Is it plural when you say brain?
I think if you preface it with our, then you're talking plural. So yeah, it'd be our brains.
Wow. Okay. Already right within the first 2 seconds of the show, I've learned something because I wasn't sure. You know how when you say mushroom, it's mushroom. Mushroom is plural.
Right.
You don't say mushrooms. You just say mushroom. Anyway, I done totally digressed on the show already right from the beginning because I am intrigued to know how our brains operate. Okay. Now I said it with a Z. Forget it. Just, you know what?
It all works.
It's going to work.
Your brain understands it. Their brains get it. It's all right.
Now I went back to my roots, Julie. I went back to my my old school project days. I don't put a Z, BRAINZ, how our brains work. Listen, everybody, I'm Kim Jacobs, host of the Kim Jacobs Show, and we have Julie Brain Lady Anderson here today to talk to us exactly about how our brains operate. And I am very much looking forward to our discussion today. Where are you located, Julie?
I am in, well, you would say sunny California, but it's raining at the moment. So that's good. We need it. I'm in Northern California.
Okay. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's why I like this kind of platform because you get the opportunity to be virtual and connect with people that you may never have otherwise even encountered. So I'm very happy to have you here today.
Love being here. Thank you.
So listen, everybody that's coming into the virtual studio audience, go ahead and let us know where you're coming in from. Time you get in, say, hey, I'm from whatever city, state, wherever you're located. And also, if you have any questions or comments throughout today's discussion, pop them in the comment section and we'll pull them on the screen throughout the broadcast. Okay. We're so honored to have you all in the virtual studio audience as well, because without you, guess what? We wouldn't have a show. So I am honored to be able to have studio audience members grace us with your presence. Listen, when we come right back after this commercial break, we're going to go ahead and introduce Julie, the Brain Lady Anderson, and we're going to kick this show off. We'll be right back after this sponsor.
I'm attorney Cliff D. Snow, and at the Snow Legal Group, justice is our job.
For more than 20 years, Attorney Snow has been fighting for justice and winning cases in the Carolinas by providing aggressive representation in criminal defense, domestic violence, family law, serious injury, and wrongful death. If you've been injured or lost a loved one in an accident, including tractor trailer or ride share, you need the Snow Legal Group by your side, fighting for justice and fighting for you. Visit snowlegal.com. Call 704-358-0026 for a free virtual consultation. Located at 6827 Fairview Road, Suite D in South Park.
All right, everyone, and we're back. We're talking with Julie Anderson, Brain Lady Anderson to be exact. She is one of the nation's top experts on the brain-personality connection, and she's the creator of the most comprehensive personality assessing tool available in the market today. That is the Brain Personality Connection Assessment. She's a highly sought after international professional speaker, a corporate keynote, business communication, relationship consultant, and international best-selling author. For more than 1 year, she has been using neuroscience. And now it's got to be more than 1 year. How many years?
It's a typo, 17.
Okay, I was going to say, I know you've been doing this for a lot longer than 1 year. But I don't know what number to throw in there. I was going to say for more than 17, 18. Okay, anyway, I love the fact that you focus on the brain because you have a lighthearted spirit already. That's a so we're gonna laugh some today too. Anyway, for more than
Laughter is good for the brain. We love it.
thank goodness. Okay. For more than 17 years, she has been using neuroscience and neuropsychology to ignite corporate leaders, teams, and individuals to fire up their brains. So I am super excited with the background that she has in natural health, psychology, human resource development, leadership development, psychoneuroimmunology. Okay, this right here is testing all of my vocabulary. Courses in depression, anxiety disorders, and brain function. She is here to share with us today here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Julie Brain Lady Anderson, welcome.
Thank you so much, Kim. This is a delight. I love it already. We're already getting the endorphins going. That's great.
That's a good thing. So, listen, Julie, here on the Kim Jacobs Show, our goal is to be able to help people bring balance into their lives a little bit better. Maybe it's some things that you've experienced on your journey that would help some other people know how to better manage, juggle this thing called life. So, just take us back a little bit. Where did you even become interested in the brain?
Well, I was actually studying for a degree in natural health in my late 20s, early 30s. And one of the required courses was psychoneuroimmunology, a big long word that just means the connection between what you think in your mind, how that affects your brain chemistry. So it's the psych versus the neuro, right? And then your immunology. So how it connected to your immune system, how it would affect your immune system, either positive or negative based on your thought process. And the one it highly suggests this book, Norman Cousins Head First, that changed my life because in there he quoted tons and tons of studies that had been done on how they could scientifically prove that your
Mm,
mindset, what you think in your mind. So I tell everybody, you got to be careful what you're saying in your mind because your brain listens and responds accordingly. So this was the science. And I was just like, okay, from then on, I was a brain geek. It was just like anything I could possibly digest that had to do with neuroscience research that could help us live happier, healthier lives. I was in. So I just drove right down the brain tunnel and
that's
have been
good.
studying it ever since.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, what we think in our mind, that's a comment that you just shared. What you think in your mind, your brain listens. So, you're saying that what we put out into the atmosphere, into the universe,
Yes.
our brain actually starts to try to make that thing happen.
Well, what it is it's so under the umbrella of psychoneuroimmunology, what you're thinking in your mind can change the brain chemistry.
Hmm,
So if you're negative, you're under a lot of stress, the brain actually responds. The chemistry in the brain, the portions of the brain that ignite versus the ones that get silenced, then changes actually how active your immune system
right.
is, right? So and I'll get to the what your brain focuses on is what happens, right? I'll get to that
Right.
in a minute. But what the on the negative side, that is if you're experiencing a lot of negatives, you're actually telling your brain to stop, to slow down your immune system, to slow down producing white blood cells. So this is where it becomes very dangerous for your health. And that's what really got me. I was like, you're kidding me. Chronic illnesses
Wow.
here connected to here. It was insane that. Um, but yes, you are absolutely right. When you are focusing, when your thought process is focusing on something that you want, you desire, you're working towards, your brain notices it. So I use the example of buying a new car, right? You may decide you want to buy this happened with going back with my kids, we got a gray Dodge truck.
Okay.
And prior to owning the gray Dodge truck, I almost never noticed a Dodge truck on the road. Almost never noticed it. Now we own it, and I think this is a cool Dodge, and the kids think it's a cool Dodge. And all of a sudden, we see every single Dodge on the road. It's
Oh
like
my.
ours.
First of all, anybody in the studio audience that can relate to that is 100% put a one in the comments. I can relate to that so much because every same thing. It doesn't matter if it's like I've been wearing these red glasses, which actually my red glasses that kind of affected my brain, Julie. My red glasses broke, right?
Oh
So I have to get some more red glasses. I was like, wait, what? I don't
no,
have my
no,
red glasses. So it did affect my brain a little bit. But I just pulled out another pair of glasses from my bag and I was like, oh, these are kind of cute too. Who cares?
no.
Right. So now I feel cute again.
Right.
But the point is, whenever you start seeing like red, for example, now it's like I see so much red. And
Yeah.
like I want I want a Bentley. That's a dream car of mine. If anybody cares or wants to sponsor me and let me that's what you're gonna make me do this right now. I just want you to know I'm gonna put everything that's in my heart's desire
Yeah.
out into the atmosphere so that my brain can help make it happen. But I
Right.
don't want just a Bentley. I want a red Bentley.
You want a red one, right?
Anybody want to
Yeah.
provide that?
So if you have a picture of that somewhere in your line of sight that you see on a regular basis, because it just reminds your brain, this is my goal, this is what I want, this is what I'm moving towards, right? And so your brain goes, okay, I'm going to support you. And it's going to
Hmm.
remind you, okay, in order to get this, I have to do this. So your
Well,
brain's going to pay more attention to what it takes to get to that point. If you're constantly telling it that's what you want. If as soon as you stop telling it, it gets distracted and goes on to the next thing that it said that you tell it it wants.
well, here's me sharing the screen. That's the
Oh,
bottom line.
there you go.
I don't care what shade of red, okay? If it is a red Bentley, I want it.
There you go. There you go.
So yeah, I kind of I now I'm gonna print a picture of this and put it somewhere. I'm
Yep.
excited about it.
And
Okay,
then
carry on.
you have to tell your brain, these are the steps I have to take in order to get to the point where I I'm buying this, right? I'm making this purchase. And you tell your brain that on a regular basis. And this is a loop that now your brain knows it tends to keep you more on track with what you want,
Mm.
right?
That's
Yeah.
really good. Okay, I love that. I love the theory. I've heard the theory many times over, but from a neuroscience perspective or a scientific angle,
Right.
I don't really, and I still need you to kind of help clarify for me. I don't understand the philosophy of there are some things that happen in life and you have to kind of talk it out and talk it through and vet it
Hmm.
out. So
Hmm.
then it's like if you're talking it out, sometimes I feel like I'm like, Kim, don't say that, even though that is a reality. And you have to talk it through because it makes no sense. Or if you don't talk it through, then nothing gets better, right?
Yeah.
But then
Yeah.
if you're putting it out, then it's opposite of what you're kind of saying, which is you're putting something out negative that goes against what you want your brain to really be doing.
Well, there's a difference between walking through it and logically trying to walk through something negative. How do I get through this situation? How do I navigate my way through a difficult time? And focusing on that every day. Right? There's a
Okay.
difference between the two. We have to sometimes, especially if we're an auditory female, I'm telling you when I talk about the brain personality connection, auditory extroverted females are always going to need to talk it out.
Right.
They think their way through problems by verbalizing it audibly out loud, especially if they have another girlfriend that can bounce it off of, or their spouse, whatever that is, right?
Right.
That is how they process and navigate their way through that. Now, if you have a challenging situation, something that's negative, and you have to try to figure out,
Right.
brainstorm, how do I get through this, right? You either do it verbally or you do it with a brain dump or you do it with a mind map, whatever that looks like. But you can't sit there. If you
Right.
sit there, now you're constantly reinforcing the negative to your brain, and your brain thinks that's what you want to focus on.
Right.
Whereas if you're verbalizing it and you're brainstorming it, your brain's going, okay, they want to figure their way through this.
That's right.
So, how do we do this? How do we figure our way through this? How do
That's
we get
good.
through today and get to tomorrow and get to next week? Right? There's a difference between sitting and brainstorming your way through movement,
Okay.
right?
That's good.
Sitting stagnant, movement through.
That's good. Okay, so sitting stagnant, movement through. That's a
Mhm.
good way to view it. And listen, if you all want to pop any questions, comments up here, definitely go ahead and do that and we'll pull them on the screen. If you want to come on the screen with us, which sometimes some of you all want to do that, feel free to go ahead and do that as well. And use this particular link, copy it into your browser, and it'll bring you on. Today, we're talking with Julie Brain Lady Anderson, and she's helping us understand how our brain operates. So, right after this commercial break, Julie, what I like to find out from you is how do we actually maximize our brain power? Because it's one thing to have our brain and to understand and to embrace some things, but then how do we actually maximize our brain power? That's what we're going to talk about right after this commercial break. And before we go to commercial break, I'm going to continue to put some things out that's in my brain for you. One thing is, if you'd like to be able to pour into the Kim Jacobs show, we would love for you to support this original programming on a daily basis. We come on at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here are some of the ways that you can do it. And we truly appreciate the support and your online contributions. All right, so listen, today's episode is sponsored by Snow Legal, and we have all of their information here for you, snowlegal.com, and then also Silver Shield Security. Silver Shield Security, you can definitely connect with them. They have state-of-the-art equipment, night vision, things, you name it, they pretty much have it. silvershield-security.com. We're going to learn more about them now. We'll be right back after this break.
It's not just another day, it's a brand new day, full of all the fun, love, and laughter you and your family create. Silver Shield Security understands feeling at home means feeling safe and happy. No credit checks, no contracts. We offer payment arrangements, and we'll even give you a free door camera. Find out how we can brighten your day even more at silvershield-security.com. Silver Shield Security.
All right, everyone, and we're back. We're talking with Julie Brain Lady Anderson, and she's helping us better understand our brain today here on the Kim Jacobs Show. So next, we wanted to talk about how do you maximize your brain power? So let's talk about it.
All right. So there's lots of different ways that first of all, when I developed the brain personality connection assessment, right? The main thing is you got to know where your natural brain strengths are, right? Because there's a difference between learned behavior and your natural gifted talents.
Right.
And really, in order to maximize your brain, you've got to understand the difference between the two. Because there's a huge difference, literally based on scans, neuroscientific scans of the brain. There is a difference between doing something well, how much energy it takes in the brain, doing
Right.
something well, and doing something easy, right? So, for example, I got straight A's in elementary school in spelling.
Right.
I never had a problem, or I shouldn't say, for the most part, I always got really good grades in spelling. However, I had to practice and practice and practice because it didn't come easy to me, but I learned to do it well. So there is this difference between doing something well and doing something easy. You can take all kinds of courses. You can grow up as a right brainer in a left brain family and develop the skills of a left brain because that's what you were surrounded with and that's what was expected out of you. But
Right.
that doesn't necessarily mean it's easy for your brain. So
Mm.
you need to identify, where are my natural brain gifts, my natural brain talents, and then it becomes so much easier to maximize those, right? It becomes so much easier to focus on your gifted area. And like for entrepreneurs, I say outsource the rest or,
Right.
give that to somebody else to take care of. And you're working on maximizing your natural gifts because it's going to be a whole lot easier to maximize those things that don't take that much energy than it is to work really hard at those things that take a lot of energy, like literally glucose burn second for second in your brain.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So let me ask, are you saying that if we focus on a thing that does not take that much energy, should we like stop overthinking things and just do what
Go
we
with your
just go with
natural.
our natural instincts?
Sometimes that's what it means. Sometimes that's what it means. But the first thing is really discovery, right? Discovery. One of the easiest ways you can identify it outside of taking the assessment, right, is to go, okay, I've sat and I've been doing this process, whether it's a process in your office or it's cooking or it's whatever, right? I'm doing this and it's been 2 hours and I'm like, oh my goodness, where did the time go? I thought I've only been doing this for 15 minutes.
Right.
That's
Okay.
because it didn't take your brain hardly any energy to do it. It's not tired. It can still keep going. But if you've done it for an hour and you look at the clock and you're like, oh, I
That's
have to be
good.
here for 3 more hours. Oh,
Okay,
this
that's
is
human
crap.
torture, basically.
Right. That's torture. That's your brain saying, this is not my talent.
Right.
This is taking too much energy.
That's
I'm
good.
exhausted. I need to go do something else.
That's
And this is where
good.
procrastination comes in, because if you're having a hard time, if you've got something you need to go do and you keep procrastinating, you're like, I don't know why I'm procrastinating. It's not that difficult. Shouldn't take me more than an hour to do this. And I just don't, why do I procrastinate? It's because your subconscious is going, excuse me, I don't have the energy for this. So why don't you go change the wash? Go,
That's
go,
good.
go play with the dog.
That's good.
Right? Because your brain, your subconscious is designed to protect you, right? And to run these automated programs to keep the heart going, to keep the digestion, right? It's just this automated thing.
Mhm.
And if it feels that something is going to take too much energy and you just don't have the bandwidth, it
Right.
will do everything it can to get you to not do that thing that it perceives as being dangerous for you.
That's good. This is some good discussion. Listen, everybody, I normally don't do this that often, but right now I'm just going to put for about 30 seconds. I want you all to tag as many people as you can to be a part of this. I'm going to put, we'll be right back. It's just a little, a link thing. And for about 30 seconds of it, you'll see 2 minute countdown, but don't worry about that. All I want you to do is take the 30 seconds or so and tag some people, because this information right here is information we don't want anybody to miss. If you like the person, you don't like them, you just pray for them, whatever, tag them and tell them to come into today's broadcast. Share this broadcast now, and we'll be right back. Okay, I think I only tagged 2 people. It's crazy. But it's okay. Because I was trying to look at the timer and trying to tag
Right.
some people.
I was trying to figure out, wait a minute, how do I tag?
The point is, this is some great information that's being shared by Julie. And so watch the replay if you don't tag the people right now. But listen, how do we prevent procrastination? That's a question that I have. And any of you all type your own questions and we'll pop them on the screen. Julie?
So the first thing is to recognize why are you procrastinating,
Okay.
right? So it takes a little bit of cognitive thought, right? You got to stop and think, okay, am I procrastinating? What is it about that thing that I need to do that makes my brain procrastinate, and that makes me not want to do it? Most of the time it's going to be because it takes too much brain energy, right? A lot of times that's what it is.
Right.
There may be a psychological reason, a pushback that gets into a whole nother area. And
Okay.
this would probably be a good time to say that this, if anyone listening now, live or later on, if you are currently under the care of a physician, a psychologist, anything like that, don't all of a sudden instantly change things without
Good. Good
consulting with them
feedback.
first, right? You
Right.
really want to make sure that you're doing things in connection with your current
Good.
treatment program, right? So
Okay.
I want to throw that out there.
I think
But
that's really good.
yeah, it's important for people to understand that. I don't want anybody saying, "Oh, well, the brand lady said, and so I did this,"
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden there's an issue. So let's
Thank
keep
you.
it connected with that. But when you're identify why your brain's procrastinating, right? What is it?
Right.
If it is a psychological thing, then you're going to need to address that psychological issue in one way or another, under the care of a physician or the care of a coach or something like that, right? If it is just an energy thing, it's like, I don't have any, psychological pushback. I just don't want to do it. right? In situations like that, there's two main things to remember. One is your brain has the greatest amount of energy first thing in the morning,
Okay.
right? It just, you wake up, your brain's rested, it's you have the most amount of brain energy at that moment. So, do all the things that you need to do, hydrate, eat, make sure that your nutrition is there, and then attack that thing right off the bat. The second is do what we call sandwiching or book ending it. So you can start off with something that's really that your brain loves to do. You're
Right.
going to do that for 30 minutes, whatever it is, that's going to like just get you on fire. So maybe it's creative writing, maybe it's drawing if you're an artist, maybe it's organizing things if you're a left brainer, right? Do something that's going to like just energize you. And then you're going to set the timer for 30 to 45 minutes, and you're going to focus on that brain intensive thing that you've been procrastinating. And when that timer goes off, you now bookend it with something fun again, right? And it can be go for a walk. It can be just dance for 5 minutes, right?
I did that this morning. I just literally just danced and did a Just
Absolutely.
Dance video, and
We
I
could
was
do it.
enjoying myself.
Yeah, we could do an entire show on the benefit of dancing and music for your brain. Like it is amazing. But if you've bookended, right, this heavy labor intensive thing with two fun things,
Mm,
and your brain knows, once you start doing this, your brain knows timer's been set. I don't
right.
have to extend myself for any longer than that timer tells me, and I'm going to do something fun after it. So now your brain is like, okay, I can handle it. I can handle 30 to 40 minutes, right? I can do that. And then I'm going to go do something fun, and I'm going to re energize my brain. I'm going to make deposits in my brain energy bank. And then I can set it again. I can set the timer again. So your brain starts to go, okay, this isn't as bad as I thought
Right.
it was. So that's a really good way to manage procrastination. And of course, you have to organize those things that you're procrastinating by writing them down, making sure that they're in the front of your brain so you know that this is something I need to do. So it doesn't get lost in the electricity in your brain. But that's a good habit that I like to teach my clients.
Wow, that's really good. Okay. If you all are learning anything from what Julie is actually sharing, put a one in the comments, because I know I'm learning so much, and typing her comments over here are just is that way you can go back and look at it later and be able to utilize exactly what she's sharing, because these are some phenomenal tips how to be able to prevent procrastination. And I want to go to some of the virtual studio audience comments before they get too far gone here and I miss out on some of them. So let's see what you all are saying over here. If you have questions or comments, pop them in now. And I will go to a few of them. Let's see. This is great tips that you're sharing, by the way. Oh, Nikki Cole says, hey, this is some good stuff. Thank you so much, Nikki, for being in the virtual studio audience today. Yes, Athena Robertson, our sunshine expert, said, great morning, ladies. Absolutely great morning, with our brains being able to learn how to function better. Yes, yes. Okay, let's see. Any other comments? Okay, Bishop Amir May. Let me also congratulate him. He just became appointed as the bishop in Dubai and for the Church of God in Christ. Congratulations to you, sir. And you and your family. I'm so excited about everything that you and Lady May are doing, and I'm excited about your journey. So glad to have you on. He said, powerful and so true. All right. Any other comments? Yes, Athena said that, yes, we should challenge our brains daily. Do you
Yes.
think that? Do you think that, Julie, that we should challenge?
Absolutely. Exercise. So your brain is just like your bicep,
Okay.
your quads, right? It's a muscle. It's a muscle. So you need to do brain exercises, and those challenges could be brain games. I love telling people do brain games. Learn something new. You don't
Okay.
always have to master it. Like I say, learn the piano, learn a piece of musical equipment. The brain loves music, by the way. The brain just loves music. So learning something new, every time you learn something new, you're creating new neural pathways, right? You're
Interesting.
stretching the brain, you're making new neural pathways. And we want as many of those continuing to grow and develop throughout our life because they
Okay.
also die off, right? The
Hmm.
older we get, some of those pathways either get pruned out or just
Okay.
with age, they become, inaccessible due to just, the aging of the brain. So the more you want to always be making more neural pathways than you're losing, because then,
Interesting.
then you're constantly keeping your brain young. And that's when you have these people who are in their 90s
That's
or
what I was
100.
wondering. I was
Yeah,
just
and
getting.
they're just as sharp as a tack, man. They will just run you over with their
I
brain.
was wondering that. I was thinking, I said, that's why I've seen like some bodybuilders and people that are like doing exercises and they're like 85,
Yep,
90, and they look like they're in their 50s or 60s. It's because they're challenging themselves to just do something totally new.
yep,
That is
absolutely,
awesome. I
absolutely.
love it. Okay, so I'm gonna think of what new thing am I gonna be doing. I'm excited. I think actually the Just Dance is newer for me. So my
Oh,
children have bought me a Nintendo Switch for Christmas, and so I've been playing these songs, and they have some really modern, up to date songs which I had never even heard of actually. But the point is, I'm in my own private space, and I'm going in like you would think. I'm like, oh, I'm really. It's like I don't even.
so I have to share with you, if I may, real quick, a study that was done, and it was one of the things with studies on the brain is they have to be, in order to really prove something, they either are scanning you, right,
Right.
or it's a long-term study, right? So
Okay.
this was a study that took place in Europe over the course of 10 years.
Okay.
And they found all that they studied different things that kept your brain young and that helped your brain to stay alert
Okay.
and stave off dementia and Alzheimer's, the Alzheimer's. They found different things like doing crossword puzzles, I believe was somewhere around
Hmm.
40%.
Okay.
It gave you a 40% advantage of pushing off these degenerative diseases. The highest the highest benefit to pushing off these degenerative brain diseases, 85% lower rate, was dancing. And most specifically, patterned dancing, couples dancing. So, you want a good thing to romance your life? Take dance lessons with your spouse.
That's gonna be fun to do,
Yep.
just creative. I wanna learn salsa. So
Yes.
I know a young lady that owns a dance ballroom studio
Yeah.
here in Charlotte. So I'm definitely gonna be taking her
Do
up
it.
on getting
Do it
some.
for your brain. Because what it does is when you're doing things like that, when you're having to learn a pattern, you are doing so many parts of your brain have to activate, right? The motor cortexes have to fire up because you're moving your different portions of your body in different ways as you're learning it. But you're also engaging the music centers because you're learning the beat, you're listening to the beat. It's just all of these different things. If you're working with a mate, a partner, then you're having to learn that coordination of moving with them.
Right.
85% lower rate of dementia by learning that type of dance.
Wow.
So that's take that take that one to the bank,
That
right?
is huge. That's a big statistic.
Yeah.
85% reduction.
85%. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Yep.
I know I did try Zumba because they had also got me Zumba, and on the very first day, on Christmas Day, I said, "Oh, I'm just gonna go to I think it was moderate or something." And I was going in, and I did something, twisted my knee.
Oh
Oh
no.
my goodness! For like 2 weeks, I couldn't. My brain was trying to tell me, "I don't think you want to do that, Kim."
Okay, start baby steps.
I just should have started with the easy level, not moderate or intense or whatever I
Right,
did. I
right.
just bummed my knee out and it was swollen. I had to wrap it with a anyway.
Yeah.
So okay. So listen, everybody, we are talking with Julie Brain Lady Anderson today. And I see all of your comments that's been coming in. I will definitely keep sharing those throughout today's broadcast. Thank you for that question and comment, Athena. Really appreciate it. Listen, right after this commercial break, we're going to come back and I want to talk maybe about, you said, knowing what's the natural versus the learned component and going more towards the natural. What other tips or advice can you share for people to really hone in and tap into what that natural is? How do we know what is natural versus the learned? I don't know always. So I know what I like and what I don't like, and I'm clear and I say it, but I want to hear from you on this as soon as we come back after this commercial break. Is that fair?
Perfect.
All right, we'll be right back after this commercial break, everyone.
When someone has lost a loved one, they want to know what exactly happened. They want to know, is the other person going to be held responsible? And they want closure. At Hunter & Everett, we help clients that have lost a loved one move on, and to do that with dignity and respect that they deserve.
All right, we're back and we're talking with Julie Brain Lady Anderson here on the Kim Jacobs Show. And we're going to talk now from the perspective of natural versus learned. Walk us through this process.
Okay, so we kind of touched on it a little bit with the energy, right? What do you procrastinate? What do you push off is normally something that's going to be labor intensive for your brain. So I explain it what they've done when they've scanned the brain is Richard Hare out of Stanford University here in California. He noted that every person that he was studying would use in one of the four main brain quadrants in the brain less energy, less micronutrition, less glucose burned, less to work out of that section of the brain. So it's easier. When you find out what is easier, you're spending less energy, so you have more energy. Right? It's like driving an electric car versus driving a big monster truck, right? Big difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah, huge difference.
Driving a stick shift versus a straight. So yeah.
Exactly, right? So what we need to do is you need to really stop and think about, how do you feel at the end of the day?
Okay.
Are you exhausted mentally, right? And if you're exhausted mentally,
That's good.
You're probably physically exhausted as well. Because you're literally burning more energy, right? You're just burning a lot more.
Or it could be just because you did Just Dance and you walked the dog. And
That's true. That's
I'm tired sometimes.
I'm just tired. I did a lot today. But how do you feel mentally? Are you exhausted mentally? What were the things, if you are, what were the things that you did during the day that really drained you? Those most likely are not your gifted natural talents.
Interesting. Okay.
When you process or you're doing something and it just flows, it's so easy. You enjoy doing it. Those are your natural talents.
Okay.
Right. And you can always go to brainpersonalityassessment.com and take the assessment, and that'll give you a 37-page breakdown of all the different facets of your brain that will definitely help you identify that. But it really comes down to, what does your brain like to do?
Okay.
Enjoy doing because it just doesn't take any work, versus what takes up to 100 times as much energy to do.
Okay.
And sometimes you have to get into the psychology. In the assessment, I talk about birth order, and I talk about adapting, and I talk about different things that will cause you to move away from your natural giftedness. I mentioned earlier, left brain, right brain. That's a good way to look at it. If you're raised in a family of primary left brain people, and they're functioning in a left brain way, and they expect you to do the same, you'll learn to do it, right? You'll learn to do it really well because that's the way you were raised.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it's easy for your brain.
But how do you speak up for yourself if you're in that kind of family scenario? Now, I'm not saying my family, but just in general, there are people that are in these scenarios that I know my personality type, even though that's not what we're talking about here, we're talking about brain type in a way, but my personality may be very overbearing for somebody else in my family. And they're like, does she have to always be like that? Whatever that is. But I don't want to impose my views on them, but this is still who I am, so how do you do that in a family? How do you work synergistically to get through the brain disconnect?
Yeah, I'll share a story that will help.
Okay.
So I come from a family of 5. I have 4 sisters. There's 5 of us daughters. I also have 2 nieces. I have more than 2 nieces, but at the time, all girls. And years ago, we would always go about yearly. We'd go out to Monterey, California, and we'd have a girls' vacation. It'd be my mom, my 4 sisters, and my 2 nieces. And half of us are extroverts. Half of us are extroverts, and we would always wind up playing a game. and inadvertently somebody'd be over the table, there'd be laughter, there'd be noise, there'd be total high stimulus. And after 1 or 2 games, one of my sisters, Tara, would get up and she'd leave and she'd go sit in another room, or she'd go outside, or she'd just walk away. Now, before I knew the brain information, we would like do the she's such a party pooper. Like, why she does this
There
every
she goes
single time.
again. It's like,
Like,
why?
yeah, every time.
Come on,
Like,
stop being a quitter. Blah 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 blah.
exactly,
Whatever.
right? Come play. This is fun. Well, then we learned about I learned and educated the family about introversion, extroversion, and ambiversion. And all of a sudden it hit me. 4 of us are extroverts, which mean we're high stimulus, right? We are just moving. Tara is an introvert, a powerful introvert. So what was happening in those moments didn't have anything to do with whether or not she wanted to be with us. It was just that her brain was overstimulated. Her amygdala kicked into gear and said, "Get out of this situation. It's too much stimulus for me."
Right.
And so she'd leave. So now that we know this, our brains are cued into it. So we tone it down a little bit out of respect for her and love for
He's
her.
like, how are you doing, Tara?
Yeah. And she
Are we doing
understands.
too much for you? And not in a condescending way, but
Right.
literally in a courteous, respectful way of am
It's
I doing too much for you?
it's honoring the
Right.
introvert. I tell people when
love
I'm
that.
talking about introversion, extroversion, because that's one of the 5 facets of the brain personality connection, is honoring the introvert, understanding the extrovert. Right? So you're going to honor the fact that the introvert gets overloaded and needs their downtime. They
Okay.
may need to be alone. It has nothing to do with me, right?
Right.
It has to do with their brain and what their brain needs, and that's fine. That's
That's
their
good.
brain. It's not good, bad, or otherwise. That's just their brain. And then you be understanding of the extroverts, because the extroverts need the extra stimulus and they're going to have a smaller personal space. So they're going to be up closer to you. They're going to talk fast. They're going to move a lot. And you just understand they
So they're
don't
gonna move a lot.
they're going to move a lot. They don't have a problem. That's just the way their brain works. There's nothing wrong with them. It's just the way their brain works. So understanding your natural gifts all of a sudden gives you an insight into other people's natural gifts, and you begin to understand each other more, and the weight of their acceptance or their criticism or what you think is criticism, which really half the time it isn't, it's just the way
Right.
their brain works. It's okay, because that's their brain. That's their brain. It doesn't value me higher, it doesn't devalue me less, right? It doesn't it doesn't matter. It's just their brain, and it's
I
different
agree.
than my brain. So no biggie, right? So identify think about what comes easy to me. What do I enjoy doing because it makes me feel good, it energizes me, versus what are some of the learned behaviors? What are some of the things that I do because this is the way I was raised, right? That is how you start to identify
I
your
love
brain
it.
personality connection. Or you cheat and go to brainpersonalityassessment.com and take the assessment.
That's actually what I want to make sure we talk about. How can people specifically get this assessment tool through you? And what is the process to make that happen? Is it a course? Is it a, a free assessment? What happens so that people can understand when they do come over to learn more about it?
Yeah, so right now it is a free assessment. It will go as a paid assessment on May 1st. So now's the best time to go take it and share it out to everybody you want to take it for free. And that is just at brainpersonalityassessment.com. And that's the landing page. You can read more about the assessment and the benefits of the assessment on that page, and then decide if you're going to take it. It is, like I said, it's free. It gives you a 37-page report, PDF that you can download. And that's where you're going to start. You start there. That's going to give you a lot of insight onto your brain. And if you have questions from there, you can either go listen to the Brain Lady Speaks, some of the shows that I've done that have covered that particular topic, or you can reach out and set up an appointment with me to investigate further. We also have webinars coming up that will help to explain the different, how to apply this information into your life and your relationships. But that's really the starting point.
That's really, really good. So everybody, don't miss this opportunity. You go to yourbestmindllc.com, get that assessment. It's free. This woman is pouring out her soul to make sure that we know how our brains operate so that we can be able to have better relationships with other people that we interact with. You can't get a better situation than this. So take advantage of this while the getting is good. Okay. All right. I love this. Now, I do want to hear about some things from you personally as well, because I know that you're married, right?
Yes.
And I want to hear about your lovely Boaz.
My hubby. So we November's our anniversary, and last November we celebrated our 35th anniversary. We have three amazing grown boys and three beautiful daughter-in-laws. And I actually, fun fact, I homeschooled all three of them for 16 years from kindergarten to graduation. So one of the it was knowing this information, I started learning about the brain about 5 years into the brain personality assessment, how the brain learns and
Oh,
processes the best. And I learned that about 5 or 6 years into the process. It might have been only about four. Anyways, then I started kind of changing the way I taught the kids and started changing it teaching it in a brain friendly way. And
interesting.
I have one left brain son, I have two right brain sons, and so I would teach each one a little different just to match their natural giftedness.
Okay.
Um, yeah, so that was, and I live in the beautiful Sierra Nevada foothills of California, and two dogs and three horses.
Wow. So you have a beautiful, balanced, brain friendly life.
Absolutely.
That's a good thing, and
Absolutely.
that brings joy to your heart. Oh, I see a question here. Robert Archer says, "Do you have any suggestions for people with mental disabilities? I have symptoms of epilepsy and I take medication, and that slows your mind down. Can you possibly address that for us?"
Sure, that's a challenge, right? It's definitely a challenge, and you can't, not take your medication,
Right.
especially for something like epilepsy. A good thing to do is get a start stretching your brain by playing brain games. And it can be simple, like they have the calendar that's a one a day calendar. Like you pull the
Right.
the
I know
tabs
what you're
off.
talking about.
Yeah. And so they have brain games. They have ones that are all brain games. So you just do one brain game a day, whether that's a crossword puzzle, it's a Sudoku, it's some kind of mental challenging thing. Exercise that brain, and don't be work really hard not to be critical of yourself of how long it might take you to do that, but because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long. This isn't a test to see your intelligence, right? This is just
Right.
to help your brain stretch.
That's
Right, so
good.
I would suggest doing that or buying the I love going in and buying brain games like mazes
You can
or
get stuff at the dollar store, even
yeah,
some of the, like, different puzzles and
exactly.
different things, you can get them
Yeah,
anywhere, Target, Walmart,
yeah,
wherever you shop, any of those kind of stores, they have lots of they literally have things called the brain games.
brain
That's what it's
games.
called, officially,
Yeah.
brain games.
And
So
that's a great thing to do because it helps to again exercise the brain just like you would exercise your arms or your legs or whatever, and
good.
that will help you to be a little bit more sharp,
That's
uh,
good.
despite the medication that you're taking that slows it down. And hydrate and good nutrition, really really important. Your brain is an energy hog. Okay, it uses a ton of calories every day, like literally glucose in the brain. So
Okay.
make sure you're getting good, healthy nutrition, things that feed the brain, your fishes, your nuts, your any of your brightly colored vegetables or brightly colored fruits. Those are all really good for a healthy brain. So you want to keep your brain as healthy as you can
I love
and
it.
hydrate. You need to hydrate. Just 2% drop in your body water and dehydration, but this is before most people even realize they're dehydrated,
Mhm.
will cause you difficulty focusing on a screen, reading a book, doing simple math, right? So
That's
doing
good.
making sure you have those things in line are going to help you, Robert, with just your keeping your brain a little bit sharper despite the meds that you're on.
Robert, I am so glad that you asked that question, and I hope you enjoyed our expert answer today. So let's see. Mary Burton said that she is really enjoying this conversation.
Thank you, Mary. Thank
And
you.
Mary, I'm glad that you actually said that wording, a conversation. That's really what I want to have all the time when I have guests on the Kim Jacobs show. It's like we're sitting here in the living room talking, and you all are listening in on a conversation. And then also getting a chance to, hey, say, hey, I hear my thoughts on it as well. So it's exactly what the vision is for the show here. Thank you so much, Mary, for being here. Any of you all still have questions, comments, thoughts? And Robert said, thank you so much for answering that question for him. Keep your comments and questions coming in, and also hashtag what do you want people to hashtag? Julie Brain Lady or Brain Lady or what?
Brain Lady Julie is
Brain
is
Brain
good.
Lady Julie.
Yeah.
Let's hashtag Brain Lady Julie today. Let's get that trending throughout all of the different social media platforms. And also, just so you know, the Kim Jacobs show streams also on CTR Media Network, which is in over 300 million households. So this footage is not only on the platforms that you're seeing here on Facebook or YouTube or whatever outlet that you're looking at it, but it's also on ctrmedianetwork.com. And we're also going to be streaming on Believe in Your Dreams Network as well on Roku, Amazon, and all different platforms there in over 200 million households. So make sure you know that your comments and your expert advice, Julie, is going all around the world. And so let's see. Thank you. I am studying to become an ABA.
Nice.
Very
Nice.
good.
Specializing in the neurosciences?
Are you specializing in neuroscience, Mary? Answer that question when you get a chance, okay? All right, so everyone, listen, we're talking with Julie Brain Lady Anderson. She has a free, it's very important to say that it's a free assessment for you to be able to go and determine exactly how your brain operates. You can get that information right at yourbestmindllc.com. For the podcast listeners, it's www.yourbestmindllc.com. You can also email her if you have any questions at info@yourbestmindllc.com. And Julie, tell us something as far as what you found out that kind of threw you for a loop regarding your own brain right after this commercial break. What's something that you discovered that you were like, wait, what?
Gotcha.
That's my brain? Okay. I'm in my own world over here. Clearly, I enjoy doing this, right? Because I can do this all day long. You're like, okay, Kim, yeah, you could definitely be a host for the rest of your life. This is me all day, y'all. Okay, I love this. All right, I can do this by myself, talking to myself. I'll be right back right after this commercial break. We're going to be talking more with Julie, and we're going to hear her moment of, wait, what? It's my brain? Okay. I didn't know my brain operated like that. Right after this commercial break. We'll be back.
Hi, my name is Samantha Benson, and I'm with Get Insured Solutions. You can get life insurance anywhere across the country, but with Get Insured Solutions, we have an advocacy program that helps families at the worst time of their lives with the loss of their loved ones. That means we have a funeral advocacy program that helps your family with funeral merchandise, negotiating the cost of your funeral expenses, and living benefits. Get Insured Solutions, LLC. Contact me, Samantha Benson.
All right, everyone. So, what's that moment that you recognize as something was going on in your brain that you're like, oh, wait, what? Okay.
Probably. So I took the Benziger Thinking Style Assessment with and became a follower. And she kind of mentored me with Arlene Taylor and Dr. Arlene Taylor. And I mention her name because she's an amazing gal. I learned so much from her. And as I was going, so I took the assessment and it pegged me as a right brainer, not a left brainer. And it was a 2-hour drive to get to this seminar that I was going to be going to that she was conducting. And I was reading it going, no, I'm totally left brainer, because in my life, the role that I played was all left brain work, right? I was the mom and I did all of the organizing. I paid all of the bills. My husband has been 40 years in the swimming pool business. I managed all of those accounts, did all the billing for those accounts. I did all of the structured left brain work.
Oh,
So
okay.
I'm driving and it paid me as a right brainer. And I'm driving. My sister was driving. I shouldn't say I was driving. My sister was driving. And I'm reading the assessment going, this is wrong. This can't possibly be. I am not a right brainer. I am a left brainer. I am analytical. I am logical. I am like, I literally audibly was arguing with these pieces of
With
paper.
the results, right?
I'm like, this cannot be true. And then I took the 2-day workshop and I was like,
Oh,
oh my goodness, I'm a right brainer. No way, really? I was just like blown away because she taught that understanding of the difference between doing something well and doing something easy. I had learned because of my life, my husband's a very strong right brainer, and because of his job and the role that I was playing in our marriage, right? The wife, the mother, I was doing a lot of left brain work.
right.
And I just automatically thought I was a left brainer. But then I started analyzing. So then it was like, well, that's why every Monday, because I would go into the office every Monday. Now, remember, I homeschooled my kids. So I would have my sister come help me on Monday. And I literally told them, unless someone's bleeding or the house is on fire, leave me alone. I have to get the work done. Right. And I was a grouch. Every Monday was just like, I started the week out on such a negative because it took me all day to take care of the book. So as soon as I realized it was like this weight off my shoulders, I called my husband from the hotel room and I'm like, we're hiring a bookkeeper and I'm not doing this anymore because that was very, very left brain work.
Right.
So it blew my mind. I really, up until that point in time in my life, which was about 20 years ago, I thought I was a left brain person. I had
Wow.
no idea I was a right brainer.
I
And then,
completely think I am a right brain person, but who knows, because your paper may say something different and I don't even want to get my brain worked up. I'll just go with what the paper says. But I actually think I have a little bit of both. So I don't know how you can ride the fence between right and left brain type of thing. We'll see.
well, here's the thing. We all use all of our brain, right? We have
Right.
to. We use all of our quadrants in our brain. It's just where's our home? Right? Where is the area that we like the best, that takes the least amount of energy? I tell people, you exercise, fold your hands like this, right? So that you have, some have their left thumb on top like me, some have their right thumb on top. Now what I want you to do, that's automatic. That's the way you instantly fold your hands when I tell you to fold them. Now flatten your hands out, shift them, just like shift so that the opposite thumb is on top.
That throws me.
How does
Whoa,
it feel?
that felt like I don't want that. I want
It's
it.
hard. It's uncomfortable. It's awkward. Here's the thing.
Interesting.
Yeah, if I tell you to fold your hands, you're always going to do this.
Right, just the way that you feel. Even
It
when
doesn't
we
take any
hold
thought.
hands, even when we hold hands with people, Julie, like you know how you're in. Well, for me, I'm forever in prayer mode, so I'm forever hold hands, bow
Yeah.
your head, and all that.
Yeah.
So the point is, if when we hold hands, I always want to hold my hands a certain way in the other
Right.
person's hand, and it like almost I actually throws me off when they try to put their hand on top of mine a different way. I'm like,
Yeah. Yeah.
what happened? Don't you see? And then I'm sitting there. We're supposed to be praying, Julie, right? And I'm
Right.
sitting there like, no.
Yeah.
Fingers go in between. No. I mean, by that time, it's like, okay, God needs to intervene just on us holding hands.
Help me focus. So the point is that your brain automatically, without any thought, does it one way, right? Doesn't take hardly any energy. It's just automatic. It's the way your brain is wired.
Wow.
To do it the opposite, you have to stop and you have to think. And every single thought takes oxygen, glucose, and micronutrition. Every single thought. So doing it this way, almost no energy. Doing it the opposite, you have to think, takes more thought, which means it takes more energy, and it's not the way your brain is wired. That's the difference between your natural way of doing things and the other, right? The natural way, easy, no energy, just automatic. The other way, you have to learn how to do it. It takes thought.
That's good.
So we will use our whole brain. You can fold your hands the opposite way. It just takes more energy to do it. Right. So if you're a right brainer, you use your left brain. You just don't use it as well or as easy as you do your right brain.
Wow, this is some good. There you have it. There you have it, everybody. This is some great stuff that's happened today on the Kim Jacobs Show with our guest, Julie Brain Lady Anderson. Athena said, yes, I love music. I love to dance, which you can learn different patterns to keep you going. Thank you for this delightful information. Thank you, Sunshine Expert, for being here in the studio audience today. Lots of people. Oh, she said, yes. Mary said that she's going to be focusing on neuroscience in pediatric field.
Oh, wonderful.
Yes. She's going
Wonderful.
to take an
Go,
assessment, she said.
Mary. Yes.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. I know how she was feeling. Oh gosh. I have to take an assessment. Well, Mary, I definitely agree with you. I too must take an assessment. So, let's make sure we take our assessment very shortly today after today's program. Listen, everybody, I want you all to know too that today from 2 to 4 o'clock p.m., we're going to be actually, Julie is going to be back at that event too, because we're going to be kicking off. I'm the new managing director for eWomen Network. Yay, in Charlotte, North Carolina. That does not take any extra effort or work on my behalf either, because I absolutely love people. So we're going to get a chance today from 2 to 4 p.m. to connect with some amazing business owners, people that are executives within their corporations. It's going to be a networking event for us to be able to learn how we can give first and share always to help each business get what they're looking to accomplish. We're going to be networking with some pretty amazing people. Julie's going to be there. We're also going to have our speaker, which is going to be a wonderful young lady that is going to talk to us about using creativity to jumpstart our businesses. And her name is Alex Cap. She's going to be our speaker. You're going to see some people like Cassandra will be there, Geraldine. She actually owns a dance studio here in Charlotte. Lori Dvorak. You're going to see Ruth Kent. You're going to see Dr. Christine Kozachuk. Let me take some of these off and show you a couple more people that you're going to encounter. It's going to be so many, a good amount of people there for you to network. I don't have all of the pictures of everybody, but I can tell you the people that you encounter are going to be game changers. So you don't want to miss this opportunity to network from 2 to 4 p.m. today. Let me, I want to make sure I pop a couple of other pictures on here before we disconnect. I had my thing got full over. My thing's like, Kim, you're doing the most. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. You're just doing too much.
The computer's running out of brain energy.
Yeah, my computer is like, I need my brain power to function. Kim is overwhelming me. Listen, we're going to have Marvin Wilson with Lindio. He owns a non-traditional banking type of thing. We have Felinda Farley. She's in the wellness and healthcare industry. She's going to be there. Or Netta Caldwell is going to be around. You're going to also see Robert. Robert is it's supposed to be a bunch of women, right? But we got some men popping in today too. And
there are emails.
Email.
There are emails.
So they're going to be there too. And as you can see, he can do anything with the balloon. So it's a lot of people. We're going to have a good time. So if you haven't registered, it's going to take place at 2 o'clock p.m. today. Go ahead and take a moment to register right quick. And we will see you at 2 o'clock p.m. Early networking starts at 1:45. And make sure, everybody, that you stay connected with Julie. Julie, close us out and tell us how they can stay connected with you.
You can stay connected. My website's there, yourbestmindllc.com. I am Purple Brain Lady. That's what I'm most active on Facebook. I am Brain Lady Julie on Instagram, Brain Lady Julie on LinkedIn. And that assessment is brainpersonalityassessment.com. So if you want to do that, remember May 1st, it goes to fee. So get it now while you don't have to pay anything.
Girl, I'm getting mine done this week. You're not playing around where you're going to have nothing going up on me. I'm getting ready to utilize this brain, get an understanding of it. And I might have my kids. Can children take it too?
How old? How old?
Oh, my children are 14 to 24.
Yes. The 14-year-old, it might take some insight from mom. Okay. Because some of the questions they might not understand what they mean. Right. So you might have to explain a little bit of what that is, and maybe, the thing about youth, and I'm working on developing one for children and for teenagers. Your brain's not fully developed until you're between 23 and 25, right? So depending on which expert's done what study, but so that prefrontal cortex is not completely connected, and that's where we understand consequences of actions, what the higher thinking, reasoning, those types of things. So for them, it needs to have a little bit, the wording is a little bit, needs to be adjusted, and it needs to be kind of helped with an adult.
I think I'm gonna have to let you close the show only because I have a tickle in my throat. So
All right.
now, Julie, use your brain for the good of the people.
All right. Well, I'm going to say thank you so much to Kim Jacobs for having me on the Kim Jacobs Show. Check her out at kimjacobsconsulting.com. Share this. If it was relevant, if it was real relevant and relatable for you, then share it to your people. Share it to your social group, wherever that might be. You can follow her here. You can you can donate to the show if you would like to support this show. If you think that it's bringing information to you that's valuable, then by all means do that. Like, thumbs up, go to YouTube, follow her channel, and stay connected with Kim, because every morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, she is here having an amazing conversation with an amazing person that you need to meet. So hang out with Kim.
I think my brain tricked me to let you do that because you did it so well. So, yay! Thank you, brain. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bye-bye. Stay backstage, Julie. Hello, everyone. I'm Kim Jacobs, host of The Kim Jacobs Show, where we're bringing balance to the world, one household at a time. Listen, we go live every weekday, Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I bring guests on that talk about their backstories, things that they've had to overcome to become who they are today. Many of them are balancing and juggling life, and they've become experts in different fields. So they're sharing tips with you to make your life just a little bit easier. Many times as a guest in the studio audience, you'll get a chance to walk away with a missing piece of the puzzle that might be missing in your life. Let's go on this journey together, and I look forward to seeing you Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on The Kim Jacobs Show.